Hey, what's up everybody? Jake here and welcome to the hobby. Good news because the Pokemon Company has officially released a statement regarding the lack of Prismatic Evolutions products that is currently available in stores right now, which is a great thing. I actually am experiencing a little bit of deja vu right now because I feel like I read this exact statement a couple of years ago and I looked it up. And I was able to find the exact video where I read the exact same statement before. So let me read this for you guys, which says, "We're aware that some fans may be experiencing difficulties purchasing certain Pokemon trading card game Scarlet and Violet Prismatic Evolutions products at launch due to high demand impacting availability. We understand this inconvenience can be disappointing for fans, and we are actively working to print more of the impacted Pokemon TCG products as quickly as possible and at maximum capacity to acknowledge this. Reprinted products are expected to be available at participating retailers as soon as possible to help ensure more fans receive opportunities to access Scarlet and Violet Prismatic Evolutions. In addition, more new products from Scarlet and Violet Prismatic Evolutions lineup will be launching in the upcoming months. We'd like to thank the community for their continued support and patience as we work to deliver this highly anticipated expansion to fans." Now, learning from experience, learning from the last time the Pokemon Company has issued this statement, the time when they were issuing the statements, the sets that were available in stores were Vivid Voltage, Battle Styles, Shining Fates, Fusion Strike, and Evolving Skies. This was during the pandemic era, and the Pokemon Company absolutely printed those products to demand at the time. Now, obviously, some products has climbed up in values. Things like Evolving Skies is now very expensive, Fusion Strike is expensive, but a lot of other sets never recovered. Vivid Voltage never recovered, Battle Styles never recovered, Shining Fates has never recovered, and some other sets like Brilliant Stars, Astral Radiance, Silver Tempest, and Lost Origin, some of those sets are still readily available on the Pokemon Center webpage today. So that's what the Pokemon Company means when they say print to demand. They always print to the amount of people that want the products at any given time. It's a little give and take because they sort of have to predict demand. It's not a perfect number because it's very hard for them to say, hey, do we know exactly how many Prismatic Evolutions Elite Trainer box we need to print? They have a number in mind, and you would think that projections are perfect. But that's not really the case when it comes to collectibles, because for some sets, they sell through 50,000 or 100,000 ETB in a day, and for other sets, it may take weeks or months for that same amount of stock to sell out. Not every set is created equally, and obviously the Pokemon Company needs to work on that, where they should be able to say, hey, Prismatic Evolutions is clearly going to be a more popular set than Shrouded Fable just based on the cards and the Pokemon inside of the set. It doesn't take a genius to realize that some sets are going to be more popular than others. And in general, this is a good thing. I do expect some sets like Prismatic Evolution, some sets like Journey Together, and all the other sets that are about to come out to have really high amount of stocks. It may take a while for that stock to be recognized. And realistically, I don't think we're going to see the major impact of this statement happening for the next 6 to 12 months. That's how long I expect to see a little bit of a dry spell in terms of the amount of available products, but I do think that there will be a time when you can readily pick up certain sets no matter how much the Pokemon Company prints. And obviously, I think the statements that we're going to see in the comment section is, oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much product is printed because scalpers are going to pick up every single last one of those products, and that's not really how scalping works. Scalping and reselling is pivotally based on there being a major lack of products on the market. They cannot simply just scoop up as much as possible and resell it to you because it's a free printing factory for the Pokemon Company. They will print as much as possible, and they do print as much as possible, and they can print to a certain point where it's no longer feasible for scalping to work. This has happened to many sets in the past, and I do expect it to happen for future sets. When the Pokemon issue statements like these, it usually means they are about to significantly crank up the amount of production, and believe me, they can absolutely do that. And ultimately, people are going to say, well, then why didn't they do it already? Like I said, it's a very hard give and take on how much of certain stuff you get printed out. And I wish they were better at predicting these stuff. I think it's possible to predict how popular some sets can be, but it's hard because I'll be honest, most people didn't see this massive wave of hype happening. It sort of appeared out of nowhere, and it didn't, because there are reasons why there's so much hype right now, but it's not one clear factor. So maybe they just need better economics forecaster. Maybe that's what they need. Pokemon Company, hire me if you need someone for that job. But I do think there's going to be a ton more stocks for future upcoming sets, as well as the ones that are currently in the production cycle. Some sets that I don't think this is going to impact: Crown Zenith, 151, Brilliant Stars, those sets that are 3 years old, I don't think it's going to impact. 151 is only a year and a half old, so is it possible for more 151 products to still be reprinted and restocked? Absolutely. I would not count 151 out of the cycle yet. I mean, we're still getting Blooming Waters collection in stores. Blooming Waters does not officially release in the US until February 7th. So I do expect more 151 products in the upcoming weeks at a very minimum. So in general, I'm happy with this news. I think this is good news. I am excited that there's going to be more stock. I do believe that there should be more stock of all upcoming sets. And the Pokemon Company's philosophy has always been print to demand. That was their philosophy during the last period of Pokemon hype, during the pandemic. That was their philosophy during the one before that, during the Pokemon Go hype. And that was still their philosophy during the 1999 original release of Pokemon hype, because they also printed base set, jungle, and fossil to demand. And those sets are still readily available. I know they're quite expensive, but there's still a ton of sealed booster packs of base set, jungle, fossil out there. They're not that rare even now. They're expensive, but they're not that rare. And ultimately, comparably, modern sets can actually have some of the more rare sets, actually. And the reason why, even though the Pokemon Company always prints to demand, but product still climbs up in value, is due to the growth of the hobby. Pokemon card collecting was always in its infancy. There was a ton of stigma around collecting Pokemon cards for the longest time. If you told people that you collected Pokemon cards 6 or 8 years ago, you might get some weird looks, because isn't Pokemon card collecting for kids? And obviously Pokemon card collecting is a much more socially acceptable hobby nowadays, and that's how the hobby is growing. Pokemon card collecting is a growing hobby. The worst case scenario, if it's a stagnating or declining hobby, right? If there aren't new collectors joining the hobby, that's when prices are going to start to really slow down. But the fact that you're seeing so much growth is because so many new people are collecting Pokemon cards. There are so many new adults collecting Pokemon cards, and I do expect that growth to continue. It's just a really fun hobby, and I don't see there being a real solid decline, especially as we're about to reach into the 30th anniversary of the Pokemon Company. I do expect to see some pretty cool sets coming out in the near future. So I do hope that they print those sets to demand as well. So in general, I think this is good news. Can't wait to see more products being readily available. Hopefully this is great news for you guys as well. Let me know what your thoughts are. And if you want to, feel free to check out the video from 3 or 4 years ago, where I pretty much discussed this exact same topic. I look different, I sound different, my room is different, my display, my collection was different. It was a different time, and I enjoyed watching that video again. I kind of laughed and chuckled at how things used to be. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.